Okay, so last time we talked about like time travel and black holes and how we could like.
Well, not time moving faster through time. Well,
Oh
sorry,
yeah,
moving slower through time
yeah, right.
or faster. Either way, depending on whether you're moving too fast or you're being pulled by a black hole. Because um, literally, black holes are powerful enough to bend the fabric of space and time.
And how did we go from black holes and how time slows and Ooga Booga and all of that stuff to materials and getting a dense material? And to get that dense material, we need a lot of power, like more power than the universe has.
Uh,
If you remember.
oh, the material. Yeah, the materials to build. You wanted to build a. What did you want to build?
Well, you wanted like make it to make the time machine. You need a lot of energy, right?
Oh, yeah, because you wanted to. Okay, it's because you wanted to somehow create a black hole. Oh, okay, okay. I know what
Yeah,
you mean
yeah,
now. I know
yeah,
what
yeah.
you
Black hole inside
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, okay, okay.
Yeah, you had to somehow literally escape a black hole, and there's only one way to do that, and that's quite literally by moving. While moving at the speed of light, you have to push away the black hole from you.
Oh yeah, yeah. I recall. I recall.
The only problem is that that is still science fiction. It is way too difficult to actually replicate it.
Right.
You would quite literally, again, need the energy that the entire universe offers in a year to do it for a second. Like,
And that's where I recalled another conversation we had a couple weeks back about like supernovas and would it be possible to survive one and actually see one, right?
seeing one is one thing. It's not that difficult to look at a supernova. They are we can see supernovas from here.
Really?
Flat out, we can see them. Do you know how much energy comes out of a supernova?
But I mean, like around one. You know, like when you say you see a solar eclipse, right? You can like see it in the sky. It's close to you. It's like big. You know,
Yeah.
the big eclipse in the sky. It has like a big ring and it's like all on fire, and the moon looks.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
It's doomsday, but yeah, right. It's close. While a supernova, unless you have like a telescope or you're like NASA, you don't really see it,
Actually,
do you?
believe it or not, one of the most well-known supernovas was actually so bright that it created another white dot in the sky
Seriously.
that wasn't supposed to be there.
And since it like light travels so slowly in space, we saw it for a long time. Is that it?
Oh yeah, we saw it. That was back in 1780. We had
That. And
well, no, something like that. It's the Van Buren supernova.
Huh.
It was so bright. We saw an extra star in our sky on Earth for like a few years or maybe decades.
Yeah, and like imagine how powerful that is, right?
You don't even know. If our star went into supernova right now somehow, first of all, it would have expanded already to the where Earth would be just on the edge or already have been engulfed by the sun. So technically we wouldn't even exist. But even if it did blow up somehow and this star went supernova, yeah, you wouldn't nothing would be left. The solar system would quite literally collapse on itself because everything would get pushed away by the
Right. So that conversation about was could you survive a supernova and be like really close to it that you could like legit touch supernova matter with your fingies, and I thought about that, right? Could you use the power like a supernova and use it to make the material and then use that to make the little funny time machine thing?
Well, the thing is with the material that is created from the supernova, do you know how hot that stuff is? That we have what supernovas make, we have on Earth. We have everything that they make, we have on Earth. It's just at exceedingly high temperatures. Again, the core of a star, the only thing that is left of a star is the iron. That's the densest thing they make at first. And then when they blow up, I think our star, if it were to blow up, the densest thing it would create would be gold.
Really? And there's like nothing denser we can get from that.
Our star is too small. It's not big enough.
But like the biggest star in the universe, right? Like big Ooga Booga red star thing. That's like.
You wouldn't be able to get any of it because it all collapsed into the star, and you know the black hole that it formed. The dense materials, Matt. All the dense materials are in the star itself. They are all within the core of the star. Some of the materials get blasted outwards, and it's really hot stuff.
Okay.
And sure, some of it can be collected, but it's so difficult to because there's so much energy inside of it. It would take way too long for it to cool. If we were to like compare, imagine if you took all of the iron or gold from a supernova and then you were to try your best to compress it, And sure, you could probably get a planet made out of pure gold, but taking away the heat from it is genuinely way too difficult. The best way to do that is literally to wait 1,000,000 years for it to form a planet.
Right.
Or another star. And God forbid it forms a star year, and it's not going to be any colder.
So just out of nowhere, talking about like a planet gold reminds me of a god in Greek mythology or something.
Midas.
Right.
The Midas touch.
Yeah, he wished that everything he touched would turn into gold.
Yeah, he he helped some weird goblin, or it was like half pig, half horse looking things that were humanoid, and he helped a couple of them, and the god of them decided, you know what, I will be nice and I will grant you one wish for saving them. And he wished that everything he touched turned to gold.
Except it's a tragedy because he turns the river into gold and his daughter into gold and everything into gold.
Well, the river turned into gold and he was okay with that. And then, he tried eating some food, but then the food turned into gold. And then he was so devastated he went to go hug his daughter. And then his daughter turned into gold. Yeah, it's even sadder than you think.
No, I know. I've studied a little of Greek mythology. So, unless you want to keep going with Greek mythology, you don't know anything else about Greek mythology. We were talking about planets.
A lot of little random bits, but nothing particularly important.
Okay.
Again, I'm not a history guy, I'm a science guy, there's a difference.
So I might as well just go with the prompts. Okay, I've heard about the Great Freeze.
The Great Freeze? Which one?
Well, the one at the end of time.
Okay, so...
Could you survive it?
I don't even know if it's called the Great Freeze. You ask different people, they'll tell you different things.
But
I called it the Cold Death. It's same difference. Yeah, what about it?
Could you survive it?
Hypothetically speaking, if the Cold Freeze is the way that the universe goes, no, you will not survive it. You would have to create... Okay, do you know how the Cold Freeze works?
No stars, so no heat, and there's no more matter or anything.
Well, there's matter, plenty of matter, but even matter is going to disappear eventually. The Cold Freeze is just when the last star finally dies out.
Right.
Yeah, all you're left with are black holes and planets. Now, for as long as there are no stars, you can actually probably survive on the heat from the cores of planets, or create your own heat using materials from planets. But the only slight problem is that the universe is not exactly infinite.
Isn't it, like, expanding?
It is constantly expanding, that is true. The problem is that it's not expanding the way that you think. We're not getting more planets as it expands. Planets are just getting further away from each other. It's space that's expanding, not the universe.
So we're like stretching it like I don't know, Play-Doh.
Yeah. Well, imagine you have a bed sheet, okay? It starts out all crumpled up, and if you draw a bunch of dots on it and you crumple it up, you're gonna have a big mess of dots. But you're slowly but surely spreading the universe out, and eventually you will reach a point where the dots are too far away from each other, and they are for them to reach each other. You collapse in the speed of light to outrun the expansion of the universe. But the Cold Freeze, or the Cold Death, or the Great Freeze, whatever you want to call it, eventually it also says the universe will slow down its expansion until it stops expanding. And eventually, Matt, do you remember half-lives of atoms?
I recall it. You've talked about it, I think.
Yeah, even atoms dissipate.
Right.
Even if they don't have energy, they will inevitably disappear. They will die out, quote unquote. So even those lovely planets of yours that we have all around the universe, they eventually disappear too. And that's where the problem starts coming in. There is not an infinite amount of energy. So if the Cold Freeze were to happen, at first you would probably be fine for a couple trillion or so years until even the black holes start to die. And when the first black hole dies, that's when you really know this is the end. There is no going back.
The thing is, I thought about, like, I don't know, use a black hole for energy. We talked about it in a previous
But
conversation.
black holes die too.
Right, they do.
Hawking radiation, we've already mathematically proven it. Black holes die over time. They are not invincible.
Yeah, Stephen Hawking, whatever his name was.
Yep, Stephen Hawking.
Yeah.
Yep, and then he proved it. Black holes dissipate over time with incredibly slowly, I'll make that clear. If our star were to form into a black hole, which it won't, by the way, it'll form a neutron star. It's not big enough to make a black hole. But if you somehow compress it to a black hole, It would take more time for that black hole to dissipate than the amount of time the universe has been around times itself. More than that amount of time squared, and then maybe even squared again after that. That 14 billion years is nothing.
Right.
It will take hundreds of quintillions times hundreds of quintillions of years for it to lose 1% of its mass.
And that's what's funny about science. The thing is that we like hypothesize
Yep.
about like big things that are gonna happen in millions and trillions and billions and quadrillions and how many, whatever number of years you want to talk about. And we only live like 100 years.
Human only lives for, or a human at longest has lived like what, not even 130. By the time the Great Freeze comes, there is about a 99.999% chance we are gone extinct way before that. There is no way we are going to survive remotely close to that time.
So that'll be all, folks. If you want to find any more of this type of content, please visit us on lego.com and have a good one.